Hello, it's Paul Hickey here, Managing Director of executive search firm Grass Greener Group, and today I'd like to share with you the overwhelming reason why most companies only achieve a 70 to 80% new employee retention rate. In other words, why 20 to 30% of new hires are no longer in situ after 12 months. It's either because they've left of their own accord or they've been pushed out of the door by the company. Now, why is this? And why is it that we typically recruit on skills and knowledge, but we typically fire or people leave a business for behavioural reasons? Well, let's go back to the beginning. It's because the stakeholders within a hiring process are typically not aligned in terms of what their expectations are from a behavioural perspective in that new hire. Maybe they're very well aligned in terms of what kind of product knowledge or market knowledge or education the said candidate must have had. But when it comes to determining what type of behaviours they should be bringing to the table, we hear the typical cliches such as a well-motivated, strong leading person who is a good team player. These are cliches and they're just not that interesting in the recruitment process. So we partner with a company called McQuaig, who use science-based algorithms to calculate what type of behaviours you're looking for by partaking in a very quick online multiple choice survey. So in the example that you see in front of you, just by way of explanation, you'll see four colours. Red represents dominance versus acceptance levels, green social analytical, blue relaxed versus drive, and yellow is compliant versus independent. So these are the typical 8 human behavioural traits. So we align the hiring team by asking them to complete this survey, and then we study what the discrepancies are. So quite clearly you will see that Brett and Carol are more aligned than, say for example, Brett and George or Carol and Sarah. There are still some discrepancies between Brett and Carol around independence levels and drive, but ultimately they're not a million miles apart. As with George and Sarah, they're also looking for a similar type of person described as a pioneer. Now, the problem arises when we don't go through this process, I don't get them to align their expectations, and we deliver candidates to interview. There is absolutely no way that I can deliver one or more candidates who will satisfy, during an interview, the expectations of both Carol and Sarah, or of Brett and George, because fundamentally they're looking for a different type of person. So following that interview, when these guys as a panel turn to each other and say, well, how do you think that went? Then they're unable to articulate still the reasons for it, but you will hear comments such as, I just can't put my finger on it, but I have a funny gut feeling that this candidate is just not for us. So that candidate will be dismissed for the wrong reasons, and that sends you back to square one. In addition to this, as a business, we also ask the candidates to complete their side of the bargain, which is called a McQuaig Word Survey, and then of course we match them up. So ultimately, Brett, Carol, George and Sarah will have a discussion with me, and I will try to determine why it is that they're looking for different types of people. So everything will come out in the wash in terms of what they're looking for, and that allows us to then, as a team, have a thorough understanding of what it is that they're looking for behaviourally. And we can find candidates based not only on skills, knowledge, education, credentials, but we can find them based on behaviours as well. And that will result in a more fruitful and long-term relationship once the candidate joins the business. So from our recruitment company, Grass Greener, 96% of candidates are still in situ after 12 months and 93% after 24 months. That allows us to offer substantial replacement policies of up to 2 years when we place a candidate with a company. So if anybody would like to know more about this, I've skipped over it very quickly in this video, but I'd be more than happy to discuss with people on an individual basis in much more detail. Thank you very much for your time. I hope everybody is safe and well, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye-bye.